All right. So, guys, let's continue further. See, last lecture we just started with default keyword, and we saw the first basic thing about Java 8 feature, that what is default keyword in Java 8. Correct, no? So we understood how to build complete methods inside an interface. So Java 8, it gives us a flexibility to build complete methods inside interfaces. Now let us scroll a bit down further, and now we'll look at the second important topic. Let me share the screen now. Observe the second important topic we are going to discuss about now. What are functional interfaces? What do you mean by that? Now, functional interfaces are special interfaces in Java. Now, this functional interfaces, unlike your interface, if it is just an interface, we can develop both complete and incomplete methods in it. We can develop both complete and incomplete methods in an interface, any number, right? Any number of complete, incomplete. When I say incomplete methods, it can be 0, it can be 3, it can be 5, and complete also any number. But if you go with functional interface, you cannot have 0 incomplete method. You cannot have more than one incomplete method. The number of methods that I'm talking about has to exactly be one incomplete method in it. How many incomplete method in it? Exactly one. Let's see this here. So right click. Okay, let's delete this all. Let's delete this all. Not this one. Let's go to the Java project. Let's delete this all. And now I will right click, go to new, and let me create here one interface. I'll call that as A. Now this interface A that we have created now here, if I'm building any number of incomplete methods, that is okay. This is first incomplete method. I'm building second incomplete method, right? There is no error. But when I mark this with @ functional interface, you observe what's happening. But now when I remove all, is there still error? Yes. If I put more than one, still error. Exactly one. So what do you understand by this? A functional interface can exactly consist of only one abstract method. Read this here. A functional interface has exactly one abstract method. So there cannot be 0 or more than one incomplete method here. Only one incomplete method allowed, no 0, no more than one. Let's read the definition here. Let's see whether students are able to understand this now. A functional interface should consist of exactly one incomplete method inside it. Inside functional interface, we can develop any number of complete methods. The number of complete methods, any number. Using default keyword, any number of complete methods you can build here, but incomplete has to be. Got it? We'll discuss about the third point later. But now, can you look at this example 1 and tell me why there is an error? Can you look at this example 1 and tell me why there is an error? Now the error here is because there are 0 incomplete methods. Next, example number 2, a functional interface A. Now here you see public void and test. How many incomplete methods do you see here? 1. Do you see any error? Read this. No error because it has exactly one incomplete method. Now what about this one? What about this one? Third example, error. Why there is an error? More than one, and hence there is an error. A function interface should consider exactly one incomplete method inside it. But there are two incomplete methods. Error. Correct? Now let's continue further. Now what I'll do is, now this program here, output will not come. Okay? This output will not come here. There's an error. Okay? By copying and pasting it, some other program, this I've left it. This is wrong. Is this clear, everyone? Line number 3245. Let's go to that line. Okay? 3245. What is the output of this program? There's a test method. It's a functional interface. There is an error. So you cannot call that at all firstly. Yes or no? You can't even override that. So the output of the program, the output of the program is what? Error. This is not the output. Be careful about it. Fine? Okay. So let us now continue further. This is visible? Okay. Now we are going to look at some important points about functional interfaces. Let's firstly create here a class. I'm going to create here a class B. Now this particular class B, I want to inherit and complete the method. So I'll use implements. I will use here implements A. I'm inheriting one incomplete method. Add that incomplete method here and let us print now from test1. Let's write here main b1 is equal to new b, and then let's write b1 dot test1. Is the program working? Yes. Okay. Now incomplete method 1, but when I'm talking about complete method, public void test2. Can you tell me why there is an error here? Why there is an error here? What is missing? Default keyword. Now after adding default keyword, do you see any error here? Let's add one more. Let's add here one more method. So let's copy. Let's paste this here. Let's type here test3. Let's type here test3. Let's call that b1 dot test2, b1 dot test3. And now when you run, observe. Is it working? So restriction is on incomplete method. There is no restriction on complete methods. Is this point clear? Please observe the program once carefully, students. Observe the program once carefully. And if everything is clear, then you see that. Shall we continue? Okay. Now, the next thing. Now, I'm going to create one in. Now, whenever you're doing inheritance on a functional interface, whenever you're doing inheritance, after inheritance, your functional interface should have only one incomplete method in it. If during inheritance, there is more than one method going to interface which is functional, it will give you error. What do you mean by that? Observe here. Now let us assume I have this interface A, and this interface A is a functional interface. Functional interface. This interface is a functional interface. Now when I do inheritance to it, there are 0 methods right now. So if I'm inheriting that now from B, then if B has test 1, this is ordinary interface. This interface is what? An ordinary one. Interface B. Now observe, this interface B has test 1. Now this test 1 that you're inheriting now exactly has one method inherited, no error. Because now interface A, which is function interface, has one incomplete method. But suppose I have here now more than one method. Now this will end up giving you an error, because from interface B you are inheriting two methods, and two methods are not allowed in functional interface, and this will end up giving you an error. This will end up giving you an error. Is this part clear, everyone, now? So you should not inherit at any cost more than one incomplete method to functional interface. Keep that in mind. Let's take some good number of examples that will give you clarity. Now see, I have interface B. How many methods are present in it? 0. So this is a marker interface. Now I'll apply at the rate functional interface. What do you see here? Error, because it is 0. But let me type here extends A. Let me type here extends A. Now what's happening? Now what's happening? I'm inheriting one method to B. Now B, being a functional interface, is only one method, no error. But let me add one more method. Now see what's happening. Observe. Do you see error in B? Remove this also. This is not a functional interface. See? Now remove one method. Do you see error? Whenever you are doing inheritance, ensure only one method is present. Now suppose I build one more method here. Inside B, if I build one more method, will it become 1 or 2 now? 2. What do you see? Because one is inherited and one is present in it. That's giving us what? Error. Remove only one method, no error. Now suppose I go ahead and write here one more method, public void and test2. This is an ordinary one. So this is an interview question. Can we perform multiple inheritance on function interface? Answer is not no. Answer is yes. But during inheritance, only one method should get inherited. Functional interface should have only one method, then there is no error. But if you are inheriting multiple methods and doing multiple inherit, then this will give you error. Are you understanding now? Right? So inheritance is possible. Multiple inheritance is also possible. I'll show you that here. Right click, go to new, select here an interface C. What is interface C going to be now? What is interface C going to be? At the rate functional interface. What do you see here? Error. Okay. Let's type here extends A. Is error gone? Comma B. Can you tell me why error? Students, can you tell me why there is an error here? Two methods are getting inherited. Correct, no? Two methods are getting inherited. Hence there is what? An error. But now do one thing. Let me comment this out. Now, is error there or gone? Why gone? So I'm able to do multiple inheritance. But during multiple inheritance, only one method should go to functional interface. Functional interface at any cost at the end should have only one incomplete method. Uncomment this, what you will see. Did you all get this now? Did you all get this now? Now where is the usage of it? Where are we going to use this now? We are going to use this when we are learning Stream API concept. Stream API internally uses functional interfaces. Okay, which makes your data structure manipulation easy. Removing duplicate elements from array. Correct? Getting highest and lowest values. Sorting an array. Okay? Like there are a lot of logical questions I can build on data structure. that logical questions to be built on your data structure. That logical questions to be built on your data structure, we use a concept called a stream API, which is a very powerful Java 8 feature. And when we use stream API, this knowledge of functional interface is required and types of functional interfaces, which I'm not covering now. There are types of functional interfaces further I will cover. So this topic I've not covered completely. Okay, I will cover this again in stream API, and types of functional interfaces I will cover. Okay, observe here now. Can you please observe here? I have interface A extends B, functional interface. What will happen? Error. Can you tell me why error? Can you tell me why error? Very good. Now, next one. Next example. The interface A has one method. You are inheriting to B. Error or no error? Huh? Carefully observe. You have to tell me the answer why there is an error. Because how many methods are going to interface B? Two. One is inherited and this one. Two. Can I keep two incomplete methods in function interface? So error, because we are inheriting one method from functional to functional interface, and functional interface has a method which totals to. Did you understand? Okay. Now I'm going to continue a bit further. Again, lambda's expression we will use in stream API concept, and various other implementations of project I will use lambda's expression. Okay. Now we can just explore this concept in Java. What are lambda's expression? Why we should use this? Firstly, understand here, lambda's expression purpose is to reduce the number of lines of code. Whatever code that you are developing now, let's say it takes 10 lines of Java code for me to build something. What if I reduce that to 1 or 2 lines? If I'm able to reduce the number of lines of codes, then that's better, right? Because the number of lines of code is less, execution is faster, chances of defects will be less. The less coding you do, the less errors, the less bugs you will see. Correct? Now this lambda's expression concept whole purpose was to reduce the number of lines of codes. The whole purpose of lambda's expression is to reduce the number of lines of codes. But you cannot apply lambda's expression on whatever you want. If you're using lambda's expression, you have to ensure that it is a functional interface on which I'm applying. Which means you cannot use lambda's expression in any part of Java coding. No. You can use lambda's expression only on functional interfaces and stream API. Because stream API is using functional interface. Correct? But how to use this now? How will this work? So there's a very important interview question. What are lambda's expression? What is functional programming? Right? Is Java a functional programming? They will ask you these questions in interview. So tell me, what is functional programming? And what is object-oriented programming? What is the difference? Okay, let's take one example to explain this to you now. Now, if I want to access this interface method in B, can you tell me what all steps will you take? I want to implement this method in B. What is the first step you will take? Okay, you will write here implements A. What is the second step you will take? Press Ctrl 1 and add unimplemented method. Press Ctrl 1 and add unimplemented method. Next, you will now develop a main method b1 is equal to new b. Then you will write b1 dot test1. These are the steps you will be taking. Step 1 implements. Step 2 override and complete method. Step 3 create an object then call. I'm applying this on a functional interface. Now, if I want to reduce this number of lines of steps, I can do that. How? First, I will write the code. I will execute the same program and show you, and then I will explain the code. I will just write A1, which is reference variable of an interface. Then I will use parenthesis lambda's expression, and then I'm just printing here 1, and you see that A1 dot test1. Is the number of steps reduced? Yes or no? Is it working? How, sir? Now this is where a functional programming comes into picture. We need to now understand this one by one. Okay? So firstly, lambda's expression was introduced in Java 8. It reduces number of lines of code, works with functional interfaces. We use lambda's expression in Stream API. Now, how lambda's expression work? So before that, you should all know what is functional programming. Functional programming is like you say what you want and not how to do it step by step. For example, your mom sometimes, you will demand something to cook. You'll go to your mother and you'll tell, tomorrow you prepare masala dosa. I want to eat masala dosa. It's been many days. Please prepare masala dosa. You will tell your mom. Yes or no? What you will tell your mom? Prepare masala dosa. Now, you just said what you want, but you're not going ahead. You will not tell, okay, there, right? How to prepare it step by step. You're just telling that what you want, and that's it. Rest you leave it to the cooking skills of your mom. Okay, so your mom is like that functional programmer. Now what she does, she will now go purchase potatoes, then after that she will clean it, she will boil it, then she will keep all the ingredients soaked for preparing dosa overnight, then they will grind it, so all these things your mom is doing it. What you did, just what you want. Now here also, what I'm going to do now, when I follow functional programming style, I will just tell my Java program, look what I want, and rest I leave it to my Java internal implementation to complete that. Now, how does this work? Is like this. Okay, let's see one by one. Functional programming defines you say what you want and not how to do it step by step. Earlier, I did step by step. Implements A, override complete the method, create an object, take object's address, call the method. I did step by step. But when I use functional programming style, I will not do this step by step. I will just tell, look, this is what I want. This is what I am interested in. This is what I'm looking for. And rest, the things will happen internally. Okay? So how does this happen? So the first step, okay, when I use this lambda's expression, behind the scene, it creates one anonymous class. For example, when I now wrote here A1 is equal to, I used a parenthesis. I used a parenthesis because inside this interface there is a method which has no arguments. If it had one argument, then I would not just use a parenthesis, I would write inside parenthesis index. So I'm just using parenthesis here because the method inside my interface has no argument. And then this symbol that I wrote here, right, minus and greater, is the lambda's expression. And then we are putting this curly braces and semicolon. Now when I do that, what's happening behind the scene? One anonymous class, our functional programming is creating it. What is anonymous class? A class that does not have any name. A class without any name is called as an anonymous class. So what it does automatically now, our lambda's expression comes under the category of functional programming. So what this lambda's expression is doing? it is automatically creating one anonymous class, and this class has no name. Okay, and inside this class automatically this incomplete method is being completed. So whatever this incomplete just by writing this minus greater than and curly braces, it automatically creates one anonymous class. It goes to that interface, picks that method name and completes that method, and whatever logic I'm writing here, SOP of 1 or 10, this SOP of 10 is automatically kept inside this anonymous class complete method. This is automatically done. I just said what I want. I want that method to be implemented so that I can call that method with object's address. I just said what I want. I am not implementing it. Look, this functional style of programming, it says, look, there is one incomplete method. You complete this method, create an object so that I can call this method. Correct? So what is now Lambda's expression doing, which is functional programming? Automatically it creates one anonymous class. It completes a method in that, keeps the logic inside that method that I wrote here, and this whole thing is then kept inside an object. Automatically an object is created, and inside that object now this logic is being loaded. Inside that object now this logic is being loaded. I did not create object. I did not complete method. I did not complete class. I just wrote a functional code there on my left hand side. I just used parenthesis minus greater symbol curly braces colon. Automatically my Java code is using functional programming concept. It is creating one anonymous class which has no name. It is automatically developing that complete method. It's keeping the logic in that method. It's automatically creating object. It's storing that non-static members in object, and simply that object's address it is returning back to A1. It's not creating object of interface. Internally there is an object created for an anonymous class, and that object's address automatically goes to A1. Now this A1 has a method called as test1. Now when I write A1 dot test1, I'm calling that object which is inside here, which has a method, and this ends up printing what? 10. Did you understand this part? Did you understand this part? Please tell me. Did you understand this part? Read this. Again, I'm now going to read out the things. So when I use this Lambda's expression, what it does, it creates an anonymous class behind the scene. A class without any name is called as anonymous class. Then Lambda's expression creates an object and loads the method by implementing inside the object. So whatever incomplete method was there, it is loading that into the object is created. Then we use the object's address to call that implemented method. Once again, see this here. So I want to complete this code, but with a functional programming. So I'll just write A1. Since this method has no arguments, I'm writing parenthesis. I'm using minus greater symbol, curly braces, and terminate with a semicolon. That's it. Now by doing this, what's automatically happening? It is creating one anonymous class. In that anonymous class, it is developing this method. It is completing this method, and in that method this logic is kept. Object is created. Method gets loaded to that object, and with object's address we are directly calling it. So I'm able to now run my program without me creating object. That's what your functional programming has done. I'm just telling what needs to be done, but how it needs to be implemented step by step. Did I do it? Did I create object? Did I complete method? Did I create class? No. Who is doing it? Yes. Did you understand now? They'll ask this in interview. Is Java a functional programming language? Till Java 7, it was not a functional programming language. Till Java 7, it was not a functional programming language. But Java 8, it turned out to be a functional programming language because of Lambda's expression. Now this Lambda's expression has made it a functional programming language. Run this and see. Make sense? Now, what if I write an argument here? then you have to also add an argument here and supply the value. Supply the value and print here what? X. Did you understand now? Again, it will automatically create anonymous class. In that anonymous class, it will complete method. Object it will create. That object will load complete method and object's address I'm using to call it. Can you see that? If I now supply here 1000, can you see that? Yeah? Everyone clear with this part? Everyone clear with this part? Next. Now suppose I write here two arguments. Then here also we need to write down. You need not write same X. You can use your A and B. Argument type should match. That's it, not the variables. Need not write your X and Y only. Okay? The variable names can be different, but the type and the order in which you are giving the arguments types should match. 1000 and then you are supplying mic. Is error gone? Right click, run as Java application. Did you understand now? Can you read these points once again? Students online, did you understand this point? Please tell me how this program is working. If you now read these points carefully, when I'm using Lambda's expression, what's happening, you can understand with these 3 points. Start from here. How Lambda's expression work. And before that, what is functional programming? Start from here. They'll ask this in interview. Very commonly asked question. Right? Be prepared with it. Is this clear? Very commonly asked interview question. Okay. Now, can you look at program 1? And can you analyze what's happening at line number 3304? Can you look at this program? What's happening at line number 3304? What is it doing? Step 1. Creating anonymous class. Step 2. This method is implemented in it. Step 3. Object created. Step 4. Object's address is given to A1. I'm not creating object of interface. It is not creating object of interface. It's creating object of anonymous class. Don't go wrong here. Object of interface we can never create. Now, can you look at here? What's happening? Now able to follow? Yes. So in our projects, we will keep using this Lambda's expression now and then. Java 8 features, very frequently it will be used. When this method is implemented, this method is completed in anonymous class. And then that anonymous class objects is present inside A1. So A1 has this complete method with this argument. So when you're writing A1.test1, you're calling the method inside that object and you're supplying this value 100 to that object argument. That object's method argument. Got it? Tell me what I said. हाँ? नहीं, ये कैसे सप्लाई कर रहा है वैल्यू बताओ. क्या क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे बताओ. नहीं, पहले स्टेप 1 यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है बताओ. अनोनिमस क्लास क्रिएट हो रहा है. फिर उसके बाद क्या होगा. ये मेथड क्रिएट होगा विद बॉडी. तो ये मेथड में आर्ग्यूमेंट है ना, और वो ऑब्जेक्ट का एड्रेस कहां से होगा. A1 में. तो जब आप A1.test1 कर रहे हो, आप वो A1 का ऑब्जेक्ट को कॉल कर रहे हो ना, जो कि कंप्लीट है, तो ऑब्जेक्ट को आप क्या सप्लाई कर रहे हो, तो ये क्या प्रिंट करेगा, समझे क्या? ओके, नाउ लेट्स कंटिन्यू फर्दर. Now the next thing is, you can have any number of complete methods in a functional interface. Incomplete method is one. But what about complete method? Just keep using default keyword, default void test2, and let's write here 2. Let's write default 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 void test3, and let's write here syso3. Now observe. Now in this case, you need not worry about it. Our functional programming, when it creates an object of anonymous class, these methods are also loaded into it. So how many methods are present inside anonymous class object now? 3 methods. This is first method, second method, then, so let's call that a1 dot test2, a1 dot test3, right click, run as Java application. Is it working? Everyone understood this example? Read this now. What are we doing here? And how many complete methods are there? How many incomplete method is there? Very good. Now, here what will happen? How many methods will go to now this anonymous class object? 3. How many methods will go to anonymous class object? 3. Which are the 3 methods? Test 1, it will complete it. Test 2, test 3, their complete method. Test 2, test 3 is already complete. Bracket है ना method को. What is that? Right? Confused नहीं होना है. कितने मेथड है क्लास ए में, गिनो. कितने मेथड है? 3 मेथड है. सो टेस्ट 1 मेथड इज कंप्लीट और इनकम्प्लीट. देख के बताओ कितने मेथड है? 3. टेस्ट 1 मेथड इज कंप्लीट और इनकम्प्लीट. इनकम्प्लीट. तो जब हम अनोनिमस क्लास ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करेंगे, इनकम्प्लीट मेथड को कंप्लीट करोगे या सभी मेथड को कंप्लीट करोगे? इनकम्प्लीट मेथड को. तो कितने मेथड गए अनोनिमस क्लास में? 3 मेथड. इनकम्प्लीट को कंप्लीट कर दिया एंड बाकी 2 मेथड्स as it is. Now when object is created as 3 method, I am calling all 3. Don't get confused. Okay. Now guys, you cannot learn stream API now. Reason, to learn stream API concept, you should know collection concept first. To learn stream API concept, you should firstly learn collection concept. Now if you don't learn collection, that is data structures, you cannot do this. So we will keep this pending. I will take this later. And functional programming, we have already seen that, but I'll be using functional programming in stream API, which means I'll not worry about creating objects and all. All things will happen internally now, right? All things will happen what? Internally, and logic building will become easy. Because if we are not using stream API, we have to build logic. But if I'm using stream API, I can just tell what logic I want, and step-by-step implementation of the logic, stream API will do using functional programming. If I want to remove duplicate elements, we usually write the logic, right? But now we need not write the logic. Using stream API, I can remove duplicate elements in a much easier way, just with one line of code. Otherwise, you have to write some 10-15 lines of logical code to remove duplicate elements, which is not advisable. Got it? Earlier we had no option, so we were doing it. But today, it is easier. Everyone clear with this part? Okay. Now, let's continue further. So now there are few more important points in your interface. Since Java 8, we can develop main method. Main methods are allowed in interface from Java 8. Okay. Incomplete static method is not allowed. Incomplete static method is not allowed. But if it is a static complete method, it is allowed. Keep these two rules in mind. So static complete methods are allowed, and I'm directly calling with interface name. I can run the interface itself. This is allowed now, which was not possible earlier. But now this is possible. You can keep a main method. You can call that method using the interface name. I'm nowhere creating object of interface. If I create object of interface, then error. You cannot do that. Is this clear? Everyone? Everyone got this part? Well, we'll look at that. Hold on. Why do you ask always questions ahead? I don't understand. Why do you do that, Prince? See, always one rule, keep it in mind. Don't do that. See, you stay with what we are doing it right now. Is this clear? That'll just cause you confusions. See, I'm taking one topic. Suddenly I'll jump to another topic. Will you all be happy or will get confused? A lot of beginners here. We have to go very systematically. Suddenly, like, see, I don't want to now to just explain one topic. It'll happen that mess of all the learning. We cannot afford to do that, right? Yeah, it's a lengthy concept and we cannot cover in one class. I've just covered 25% of it. 75% of Java it teaches we can see only in projects. Only we can learn during stream API concepts. We cannot learn that now. Okay, right, let's continue further. Now there's another popular interview topic. Okay, what are abstract classes in Java? What are abstract classes in Java? There's another popular interview topic. What are abstract classes in Java? So let's see this here. Now, abstract class in Java, we can create both complete, incomplete, non-static methods in an abstract class. But when you define an abstract class, you have to use this keyword abstract on it. Now, the difference between abstract class and a normal class is a normal class can have only complete method. But when you define an abstract class, you can define non-static method which is complete, and you can also define non-static method which is incomplete. But to define an incomplete non-static method or abstract method, we have to use abstract keyword. This is mandatory here. There it is optional. In interface, this is optional. You don't use till it is working. Even if you're using, it will work. But here this is mandatory. Before or after public, you have to use. Before or after public, you can use that. If you don't use this abstract keyword, can you see what's happening? And if I use that, what's happening? Did you understand now? So we can create here complete and incomplete methods both. Point number 1. Can you please read this point number 1? Next, to define non-static incomplete method, it is mandatory to use. Okay, can I write static incomplete method? Can I write a static incomplete method? What will happen if I make this static? We can never inherit. So if you make anything incomplete, what is that going in my mind? Wherever I'm going to inherit this, I will implement that. But if you cannot inherit at all, how do I override that and complete it? Correct, no? Yes or no? Everyone? Okay. Now, look at here, the next thing. In an abstract class, can we create both static non-static members? Yes. Both static non-static members are allowed. Like main method is static. I can build another static method, public, static, void, test3, observe. I'm able to do that. Yes or no? Both complete and incomplete static methods are allowed here. Both complete and incomplete static methods are allowed here. Do you agree with that now? In an abstract class, we can create both static slash non-static members. Okay? Next, we cannot create static incomplete methods here. but complete static methods are allowed. Is this clear? We can create main method inside abstract class, which we have seen. We cannot create object of abstract class. Can you tell me why object cannot be created? Huh? Tell me one thing. Is this clear? Okay. Now, I cannot create an object. I asked you question. आपने उसका जवाब नहीं दिया है. मैंने आपसे एक क्वेश्चन पूछा है. आप सिर्फ ऐसे 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 सिर हिलाओगे तो वो जवाब नहीं होता है. आपको जवाब देना है. Can I create an object of abstract class? I cannot. तो उसका अगर आंसर नो है, if you are telling answer is no, then you have to also tell me why it is no. तभी I will be able to understand कि आप समझ पाओगे नहीं. Can I load incomplete method in object? That's a ground rule. Objects and a normal class should have only complete method. If there is an incomplete method, forget about object creation. I cannot create object. Is this clear? Is this clear? Yes, everyone. See, I cannot create an object. Is this clear? Let's go back. We cannot perform multiple inheritance. Now, this is the biggest difference. Our interface can perform multiple inheritance. You cannot do multiple inheritance here. So I'll cover this in more depth manner in tomorrow's class, and then after we will begin with the differences. There's a further flow of the programs that we are going to take now. Is this clear for today? This is enough. What do you say? Huh? You understood why 1 hour class is enough? Why not 2 hours? Because this 1 hour we are actually covering lot of concepts as we are going with zero writing. And when you write the concepts, you will become thorough. And while you're writing notes, I'm sure 2-3 hours is gone. Slowly again watching video, preparing, 2-3 hours is gone. Yes or no? Right? That's it, guys. Bye bye. Take care. Now people are asking Diwali holiday. There's no Diwali holiday and all. I'm going to give you 18th is Diwali, Dhanteras, 19th, 20. That's it. Anyway, Saturday, Sunday is holiday only. Monday one extra day, 21 classes will resume. तो कोई भी टिकट विकेट बुक करके मैं आराम से जाके आऊंगा, हफ्ते भर का हॉलीडे मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा. इज दिस क्लियर एवरीवन? और बिना जॉब के दिवाली का क्या करोगे? जॉब ही नहीं है, उल्टा दिवाली में सब पूछेगा क्या कर रहे हो बेटा. व्हाट यू विल टेल? जाना है क्या ये स्थिति में? हाँ, फिर से सब पूछेंगे इंजीनियरिंग कर लिया, मेरा बेटा इंफोसिस में काम कर रहा है, आप कहां कर रहे हो? मनाना है दिवाली के पढ़ाई करना है? इस बार दिवाली सैक्रिफाइस. ओके, our focus should be studies this time. Is this clear? Because too much holidays if I give, again the rhythm of learning will go for toss. We cannot do that. Saturday, Sunday anyways holiday, one day extra Monday you will get. That's it. All right. हाँ, क्या करोगे दिवाली पे? Three days holiday I'll be giving, nothing beyond that. Rest all morning I'll take the class. Any other things are there like Bhai Dooj, Chhat Puja and all. You people then take care of that after some time. Okay? After 11 o'clock you people have to do that. Is this clear?